So now we have already understood about AI, machine learning, and deep learning. Let's quickly understand why and how AI is making an impact to our daily lives. So AI is transforming multiple industries, including healthcare, retail, finance, manufacturing, education, logistics. And there are so many other, most importantly, the software development. Also, it is helping us to work with the decision making. Some of the most common real world applications, let's come back to this point, right hand side, upper window. So natural language processing, it is powering the chatbots, translation tools, and sentimental analysis. So out of so many of reviews, let's imagine you are going to work with an application like Amazon or Flipkart, where for a product, there are multiple reviews. Out of so many reviews, if you have to find out that what would be the actual rating. So instead of reading all the reviews, we will make something, we'll make a tool which will help us to understand the natural language and which will actually give us the ratings 2 star, 3 star, 4 star, 4.5, or 5 star. So, based on that, as a user or as a customer, we get analysis about the product, actual review of the product. We don't need to read all the product. So, natural language processing is one of the real world application which is being used everywhere, and that is powered by AI only. Image generation, of course, creating the visuals, designs, and realistic images using AI models. You go to ChatGPT, you go to Gemini. That is again powered by AI. AI assistant helping with tasks, scheduling, recommendations, and so many. So let us say you are shopping on Amazon. Recommendation system is internally working, and it is recommending that which product of which size you have taken earlier multiple times. So this time, do not take the correct brand, I should say. And the smart analytics, that it is extracting the insight, extracting the data, and then it is forecasting the trend. So in correct size, instead it is recommending you the correct size, correct. This analysis can help you in multiple fields. It can help you in the retail field also. It can help you in the, let's say, for example, in real estate, that you can understand in which area, what is the price of a particular flat or particular area. So all these things are predicting, and all these things are helping us in making the decision and the correct decision, which will help us the business to grow. Then in our daily lives where we are using AI, you can see, I have already spoken, we are using uh, multiple things which is making our life better, which is allowing us to have the correct decision. So in our daily life, from voice assistant and recommendation engine, spam filter, smart devices, multiple things we are using. And that is, of course, because of AI. And after that, why, when we say why it matters, because it helps the organization to do what? To improve the efficiency, better decision making, and also it's working with the automation. It is driving the new innovations, and of course, automate repetitive tasks. Also, it's working. And that's the power of AI. It's not just a technology of the future, as I keep on saying always, it is already transforming the way we live and work today. Already, I have spoken about what exactly the core components of AI, that is machine learning and deep learning. Machine learning is nothing but it is enabling the system to learn from data and improve performance without explicit programming. There are multiple types which I'm going to discuss in further session: supervised, unsupervised, and reinforcement. Deep learning is also the part which I have earlier discussed. That is, it's working with the neural network, which is the exact design of human brain with multiple layers to model complex pattern in data. Deep learning is also the part which I have earlier discussed. That is nothing but it's working with the neural network, which is the exact design of human brain with multiple layers to model complex pattern in data. So now, after understanding what exactly the AI is and how it is helping in our daily life, let's understand the subset of AI, that is machine learning. So now let's understand machine learning, which is subfield, subset, or a part of artificial intelligence, you can say. So machine learning is enabling computer to learn from data. Multiple times I have already said. So I have designed it. It identifies the pattern, improve over time, and make prediction without being explicitly programmed for every task. So it is taking the data, learning from it, improving and improving the model, and of course, it is predicting. So let's say, for example, in case if the data is changed, then of course the training, retraining will be there, and then of course the improvement and the prediction based on that. Because if this is not happening, the prediction can go wrong. So let us understand again in detail. Machine learning is enabling the computer to learn from data, identify the pattern, improve over time, and make predictions without being, uh, explicitly programmed for every task. So the overall process is simple: data, learn, improve, predict. So first we provide data to machine. The machine then learn pattern from that data, continuously improve its performance, and finally, or you could say. Two main approaches are there. I have informed you. One more approach is there, but in this session, I am trying to make it shorter with supervised learning and unsupervised. Once we are clear with the concept, we can jump to the another concepts as well. So supervised means what? You can see input, but we have the labeled data. I'll explain you what exactly the labeled means. So in supervised learning, the model learns from the labeled data, meaning both the input and the expected output are already known. Okay, let's say, for example, if you are studying for 5 hours, you will be getting 70%. If you are studying for 6 hours, you will be getting 80%. And if you are studying only for 2 hours, there is a chance that you will be getting between 40 to 50%. So that is something called labeled data. So input and output is already expected and already known. I'm so sorry. So the process is input, label data, then model training, and then prediction. So already you have given that if somebody is studying for 2 to 3 hours in between, person will be getting only between 40 to 50%. So that it will predict accordingly. So predict housing price using features like size, location, number of bedroom, etc. That's the one of the examples. So if you want to predict house prices, we provide features like the size of the house, location, and the number of bedrooms along with their actual prices. So the model learns the relationship between these features and prices can the price of the new house in the area, or same size of bedrooms, or same size number of bedrooms, or at the same location. Okay, moving towards the unsupervised learning, how it is different from. So you can see the input and the model is being trained where it's not the labeled data. We are training it with the unlabeled data, we call it. What exactly the meaning of it? So in unsupervised learning, the model works with unlabeled data. Here we don't provide the correct answer. The process is input, model training, and model will train with the pattern or cluster. For example, an e-commerce company can group customers into different segments based on their purchasing behavior. The system automatically discovers pattern and creates cluster of similar customers. Like you can see, it's creating the cluster, or group of similar customers are in one cluster, or in one group. You can understand by that, and then you can see it is it is able to understand the pattern. If I talk about the real world application of machine learning, then of course the recommendation system, right? So platform like Netflix and Amazon recommend movies and products based on our preferences. Then we have the natural language processing. I've already discussed chatbots and virtual assistants understand the and generate human language. Then after that, the next is image recognition. System can identify faces, objects, and image automatically. And healthcare machines, then machine learning helps detect diseases, analyze medical data, and support doctors in making the decision. So in one line, if I say machine learning empowers system to learn from data, discover pattern, and make intelligent decision, making our application smarter and more efficient. That's the power of machine learning. Next, we will understand how exactly supervised learning and unsupervised learning is. The examples: learning from data which is labeled, and finding patterns where the data is unlabeled. So supervised learning involves training a model on labeled data where the outcome is already known. I've already said, as it's easy way to explain this to a child is with the fruit example you can see in front of the screen, left hand side. Imagine teaching a child to identify different fruits through a picture book. Each page presents a picture of an fruit with its name underneath. You can see apple, apple, banana, and banana. As the child look through the book, they learn to associate the image with the name, right? This process mirrors supervised learning because the model learn from labeled example, fruits picture with corresponding names. That's something called supervised. Let's come to the right hand side. Unsupervised learning. On the other hand side, you can see it is dealing with the training a model on data without explicit label. For example, if the child were given a box of various fruit toys, you can see multiple fruit toys, style, grouping, size grouping. Later it took place, but then the child has got multiple fruits, but it is not having any name. So they might start sorting the toys based on their own observation, right? So that is something called observation group by their size, their type, their color. All right. So this method is similar to unsupervised learning, where the model attempts to find pattern in the data without prior label, discovering hidden, structure or hidden groupings. So in short, if I say supervised learning requires label data to predict outcome based on the learned associations, while unsupervised learning uncover pattern in non-label data, allowing for exploration and categorization. You can see the picture. I hope you have understood. In case you are facing any doubt or any issues, you can write in comment. I can re-explain you, and all the guidance and the notes will be attached to the channel and playlist itself. All right. So I have added one more example for your understanding. Please check. This is the next slide. In that, again, this is the example based on the predicting house prices from label data and clustering for city planning. Here, if I explain you about supervised and unsupervised learning using real estate and city development example. Left hand side, real estate, and right hand side, city development. Supervised learning, if I say, imagine you are a real estate agent, okay, trying to predict the selling price of house. You have a data set containing information about the houses, such as their size in square feet, the number of bedrooms and bathrooms, their age, and the selling price. This is your labeled data. When you train a model using this historical data, it learns pattern like larger houses trends to sell for higher prices. This way, when a new house comes onto the market, the model can predict its selling price based on its features. So this predictive modeling is invaluable for real estate agent buyers, as it helps in estimating property values and making informed decision. Okay. On the other hand side, let's consider a different scenario where you are a city planner looking to improve public transport route. You have a data on the locations of various residences in the city, but you don't have specific outcome to predict. Using supervised learning, you could analyze the distribution of houses to identify cluster of density or densely populated areas. By applying clustering technique, you can discover grouping in the data, helping to design bus or metro routes that effectively serves these concentrated neighborhoods. Here, the model uncover hidden structure in the data without any pre-assigned label. These examples illustrating how supervised learning uses historical label data for prediction, while unsupervised learning is exploring raw data to find patterns or grouping, demonstrating their practical application in real world scenarios. So this was one more example. This way you can write and you can imagine something which can be supervised and unsupervised types of learning, and you can ping me in the comment. So viewers, I have already explained you about the basic requirement of generative AI, where and how and why artificial intelligence is required, and where in which all fields it is being used. What is machine learning? What is types of machine learning? In further session, I will be talking deeply about deep learning, where I will explain to you about neural network, the hidden layers, the input layers, how internally the human brain and the neurons are working. Then I will be exploring information about ChatGPT. Reason I don't want to talk to you about generative AI or Gen AI or ChatGPT in starting, because then you will not understand why artificial intelligence, how machine learning and how deep learning is actually coming into the picture, and without that, ChatGPT or any generative AI concept is not possible. So have some patience. Let me take deep learning session also. After that, we will be understanding the ChatGPT, large language model, prompt engineering, embeddings, and most importantly, fine tuning. Thank you so much for being with me. See you in the next session.